Hi everyone, my name is Amber Gutierrez. Thank you for joining me in today's training. The topic I'll be covering is nonprofit organizations, employee retention. On today's agenda, I'll specifically be covering the role of management and employee retention. So the main focus is on what can managers do to retain their staff. While there's a lot of topics that could be covered, the main three I'll be covering today are offering merit-based promotions and a generous benefits package, promoting open communication, and setting clear policies and guidelines. Merit-based promotions and a generous benefits package. One example of a merit-based promotion for a nonprofit agency is when the agency sets clear guidelines that employees are eligible to receive salary increases if they're able to maintain work productivity levels. By them saying employees can increase their salary if they maintain work productivity levels, they're setting criteria. However, as you can see, only 21% of employers are increasing their merit increase budgets for 2020. So funding for this salary increase could be limited in some organizations. This is why it's very important for nonprofit management to utilize strategic planning, specifically focusing on their budget, because when they're developing their budget, they're usually looking 3 to 5 years forward. And while it's typical for nonprofit agencies to offer benefits such as a 401k or retirement plan, health insurance, and paid sick and vacation time off, it's less common for them to offer tuition assistance programs. And the reason being is because they're not really sure how long their staff will stay within the agency. However, you can set criteria for them to guarantee that they'll be with you for longer than you may expect. If nonprofit agencies stated they would help assist with employees' tuition if the employee guaranteed and promised that they would stay for the agency an X amount of time after graduation, this could reduce employee turnover. And as you can read below, this could be eligible to both full-time employees or staff employed by the agency for a certain amount of time. Open communication. Open communication is so important that I hope you're able to watch the communication tips video located to the right of the screen. For nonprofit agencies, open communication typically occurs between supervisor and employee on a weekly basis and in a one-on-one setting. Now, while some or most employees feel comfortable addressing agency issues or providing feedback to their supervisors, others do not. Reasons this might be is because employees might feel disregarded or the answers to their questions might not be addressed in a timely manner. It's important nonprofit management always take employees' addressed issues, agency issues, or feedback seriously, and also encourage employees who do not feel comfortable addressing their direct supervisor to contact someone else within the agency. And for those employees who do not feel comfortable addressing agency issues or providing feedback in a face-to-face setting, to also be able to provide these opinions anonymously, as you can see in the letter icon on the bottom of this slide. Clear policies and guidelines. Nonprofit management must provide all newly hired employees an employee guideline or manual, as well as update staff of any policies and guideline changes. However, this does not always happen. It's very important nonprofit management reevaluate policies on an annual basis to make sure current policies are still relevant and are still successful to the agency as it currently is running, as well as ensure guidelines can be understood by all employees. This is taking into consideration ADA requirements, as some employees may need additional accommodations such as translators. And finally, practice what you preach when it comes to code of ethics. While nonprofit management is ensuring that all employees are following the code of ethics, it's just as important for them to demonstrate it themselves. And now we've reached the time for review. As mentioned earlier, the topic of this training was the role of management in employee retention. So here are the main takeaways. The first was to ensure that nonprofit management is keeping their budgets balanced so that employees who meet the criteria to get a salary increase are able to, because there's funds available. And another benefit that could be added to these nonprofit agencies is tuition assistance programs. Open communication is just as important, and all employees should feel comfortable and confident to share any agency issues or provide feedback. And for those that can't provide agency issues or feedback directly, to be able to have a means to leave these tips anonymously. And lastly, setting clear policies and guidelines. When newly employees start these nonprofit positions, they should be provided an employee manual or handbook, and current employees should be provided any updates of policy or guideline changes. Here is a brief list of my references, and any additional advice was provided by yours truly. Thank you for listening, and I hope as someone in nonprofit management, you have learned useful information you could implement in your agencies moving forward. Have a good day.